This episode is sponsored by the Anito, but we'll talk about that more in a little bit. We are partners with a few different products out there, and we are only ever talking about products that we actually use. So when we talk about the Word on Fire Bible or the Story of All Stories by Emily Simpson Chapman, put out there by Word on Fire, we talk about that because we actually use it. When we talk about the Gab phones, we talk about the Gab phones because we actually use them. And we just happen to be able to partner with these different products or companies because they created something that we like, and we are happy to share that with everybody else. So today we're going to talk about another product that we like a lot and that made things a lot easier for us in our marriage. And I am not an expert in this, though I am on the outside of what's happening.
Big fan.
And we'll talk about that more later. But I am gonna pass a lot of this off to Monica to talk about, but we're going to be talking about the Anito today. So if you have heard us talk about it before, you know how passionate Monica is about the Anito and everything that encompasses the idea of needing one. And if you haven't heard us talk or heard Monica talk about any of this before, buckle up. You're in for a treat. I will sit here because I'm part of this as well.
Yeah. So I just wanted to piggyback on what you said. All of the things that we recommend for others. One, it's things that, like you said, it's things that we use, but it's also not just like things that we use that are like, oh, this is handy or we enjoy it. Like you said, the things that you listed, the Anito, the Gab, and the Story of All Stories, those are things that we actually think like every family should have. So like if you have children and they're like preteen, teen, you should have a Gab phone. That should be the phone that they use. If you are a married couple that is trying to understand your fertility, the Anito is the tool we think that you should use.
And if you're a married couple and you have sex, you should buy our book, Lovemaking.
That's right.
I saw a thing online that said that the couples that talk about sex the most are the ones that have the best sex.
Okay. And our book is a conversation starter, how to talk about sex with your spouse. So I want to promise you that like the things that we suggest that you have are not just like, hey, this would be like fun, it's on sale. Like these are things that we really, really think would benefit your family.
Quick disclaimer, this is not medical advice. Monica is not a doctor. I am not a doctor. Neither of us are doctors. So it's not medical advice. Do not take it as medical advice. Always check with your doctor because I don't want to get sued. Number 2, this is for cycle and hormone awareness only. We are not saying go do this as an NFP method or use this as your sole NFP method. We would never say that. And number 3, this is for education, clarity, and understanding of how your body works as a woman.
Yes. And that is what the Anito is very helpful for. It's a tool to understand all those things. And then how you use that tool is going to be up to you.
So tell us how all the women's things work.
So the Anito, I'm very, very excited to talk about it because I love it and I love fertility awareness. The Anito monitor. Yes, I got it.
Okay.
He's pointing to the notes that I have to make sure I say. So I want to tell you what the Anito monitor is first because it's kind of a funny name. And if you've never heard me talk about it before, you're like, I don't even have a box to put this in. So the Anito monitor is a fertility awareness tool. So it is something that a woman would use. The man benefits from the information that comes from it, but it basically does a urine analysis daily of the female hormones and the fluctuations that happen. And it gives you quantitative results. And based on
what does that mean? What does quantitative mean?
Quantitative means it gives you like the numerical values of the hormone levels in your urine. So I want to also, that's a good clarification. It's not like your blood levels, it is your urine levels. So hydration and all those things have some effect on what you're seeing, and it's how you metabolize it. But
now I know my role here.
There we go.
But wait,
go ahead.
What are you talking about? No, because I don't. So what I think it's important for us to not assume that anyone listening knows what the heck any of this means.
Yes.
So what results can you get from your urine besides whatever your doctor says you have an infection or not?
Okay, good question. So these are for your female. Again, this is for the women, but the men benefit from the information. But the tool is used by the women to measure their female reproductive hormones. So that is estrogen, LH, FSH, and PDG for the urine output. But that's the metabolite of progesterone. And those are all the 4 hormones that impact the female cycle. So when you're talking about your period, when you're talking about ovulation.
Time out. What does metabolite mean?
How your body metabolizes your hormones. So the metabolite, PDG, is like the urine output of your progesterone. how your body metabolized the
Good
hormone.
answer. Good
of
answer. Good
progesterone.
answer.
He's like, it's actually like a test to see if I actually know what I'm talking about, because I really like this. So we're seeing how nerdy am I.
I just
Okay,
like
so each of those hormones is important for the female cycle. Estrogen is the dominant hormone at the beginning of a female cycle. So every female cycle begins with a period. Like that is day one. First day of the period is the beginning of a cycle, not the end of a cycle, because that's when all of your hormones are kind of like low, because your body is releasing everything that had built up so that you can start a new cycle. And so you start with your period, and then you start testing your hormones on day 6, because before that, they're kind of just washed out. So they're not helpful at that point. So you start testing your hormones at that point. Typically, the estrogen is the dominant hormone, and that will start to increase as your female body prepares to ovulate. It helps get your ovaries ready. It helps get your uterus ready for the act of ovulation, which is kind of like the exciting part of your cycle. And LH is the hormone, LH and FSH, luteinizing hormone and follicular stimulating hormone, are the two that surge. So they go up really quick and then drop really quick, usually on 1 or 2 days, to release the egg from your ovary. So that is the event of ovulation. That is the part of your cycle where conception is possible if you are having sex during that time. And that is when the sperm and the egg meet, and then a baby is created. So LH and FSH surge, and it kind of communicates to your ovaries to release the egg. So ovulation happens after that peak day. That's called peak because all the hormones are high. Ovulation happens shortly after that. And then from there, progesterone starts to rise, which on the aneto is measured as PDG. And that is to help your uterus lining, your uterine lining, to thicken and grow, so that if you were to have conceived, the baby has a place to land and grow. And if you had not conceived, then after about 10 to 14 days, your progesterone will start to drop because it's not needed anymore, because a baby wasn't implanted in your uterus. And that is when the period starts. The period starts when progesterone drops and the uterine lining is released. So the aneto measures all of those hormones, so you can kind of get an understanding of what is happening at the different parts of your cycle. So now you understand what's happening in the female body, and we're going to give you 5 reasons why the aneto is helpful for any woman, because this is what's happening in your body, whether you have the aneto or not. All right, reason number 1, hormone awareness is better than hormone guessing.
Explain that.
Oh, do you want it?
I don't want to explain nothing.
He doesn't want to explain.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a woman. I'm just here.
He's the eye candy, apparently. So the aneto shows you real hormone data. So again, it's not blood work, but it is the real values of the hormone levels in your urine. So it's scientifically based. There's a lot of research behind it. And I actually was suggested to have this aneto monitor from my doctor. So she finds it to be quite reliable. She had done like her own personal study with patients and herself with blood work and urine output. So while the values don't match identically, the trends were matching. So this is really reliable hormone data, hormone information, and that gives you a clear insight into your cycle. Reason number 2, you can understand ovulation patterns with clarity. So a lot of people don't actually even understand when ovulation occurs in a cycle, or they might assume that it happens like halfway. So if you have, let's say you have a monthly cycle, have a regular, quote unquote, regular cycle, you would guesstimate that you would ovulate in the middle of that, maybe. And some people who have longer cycles might still guess, let's say you have a 60-day cycle, you don't get a period until like day 60. And then you would guess that you would ovulate around day 30. Maybe this just happens halfway, and that is inaccurate. So this will give you clarity on when your individual body ovulates and how those hormones shift, what is happening leading up to ovulation, when does ovulation occur, how long after ovulation does your period come. And so all of this is like individualized so that you can see the patterns, but based on your own body and your own experience.
The one thing that I think is interesting, this I found fascinating. One, like as we did learn natural family planning, it was really interesting to see like how unique your body is, and the different signs it showed were different than everybody else's, and there's no textbook way of everybody 100%. But then with the monitor, we were able to see how your hormones shifted and how just things can get out of whack without us realizing it. So it could be like things like a cold can throw things off. Things like traveling can throw things off. We're going to you when we go to talk to you live. you're throwing her off, but it's
Sure.
okay because we sacrifice for you.
Yep.
But there's just so many things that can affect a woman's cycle, and I don't think we've realized how things shifted until we got the monitor.
So this is really helpful so that you can also maybe you have felt really confused about your cycle. You feel like it's unpredictable. You don't understand, like you don't know when you're about to have your period. So every time it just kind of catches you off guard. You might think that you're late sometimes when actually you're not. So even though it's not consistent with your regular pattern, like normally I have my period every 28 to 32 days, but now it's day 40 and nothing's happened. It could be because something interrupted your cycle and delayed your ovulation. And then there's also a healthy time period from ovulation to next period, which is about 10 to 14 days. And if yours is longer or shorter than that, that might be an indication that there's something that you should look into and investigate.
And that goes into reason number 3.
Reason number 3 that the Anito is a great idea to have. Irregular or postpartum cycles it can help them make more sense. So if you are somebody like me who has PCOS or some other reason for having irregular cycles, if you've had a baby and you're not quite sure when your cycle will return, because that really throws your hormones for a whack. If you're nursing or nursing part-time, that can also delay your cycle returning, all those things. But you kind of want to have an idea of like what the heck is going on with your body. The Anito will help show you like, okay, your body is trying to get something started, or your body has not doing much of anything, or maybe it is trying and stopping and trying and stopping and trying and stopping. Well, so I can show you all of that. And I think it helps you feel less crazy and less confused.
I think the trying and stopping it was very, I know this is more in part 4, the reason number 4, but it was very good for us, at least for me, as a guy, to see that Monica was not, I'm not saying this happens all the time, but if
this is real, like, let's be real here.
But if your mood is not as I married it, it's okay. Because, like, look, there are things happening. You are an iceberg. There are things happening underneath that
this is just the tip. This is all you can see.
We would not know about it if it wasn't for the Anito.
It's true.
Because I can't imagine how, like, they don't have these for guys, which I'm really upset about. But, like, not seeing how much your hormones were fluctuating in trying to get yourself back into a somewhat regular cycle can be insanely stressful. Not just like on you mentally, but it's just like stressful on your body that it's going through all these changes and you're not even aware of it. So you could feel like you're going crazy when you're not. It's just your body's trying to get back to normal. So that's something that the Anito gives you insight to.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially postpartum. Like if you feel like there are times where like you're very weepy, or you're very like suddenly you're really productive, or you're easily frustrated. And I'm not saying it's always the answer, but like it very well could be like your hormones are trying to get back into a cycle. And so they're fluctuating a lot faster and a lot stronger than a regular cycle would. And it just really helped us to like visualize, and for me to be able to like communicate that with Renzo, that like, this is what's happening inside of me. And so this is taking a toll.
And that leads right into number 4.
Shared language for couples. So the Anito has been a really helpful conversation tool as well. So not just a scientific fertility awareness tool, but it's also just helped us to say the same things, to speak the same language, to communicate with one another. Like, hey, I'm at this part of my cycle because like take a look at my estrogen. And it's also helped me not feel like I was the only one who was in charge of or monitoring what was going on, because some other fertility awareness methods are a little bit more intimate and personal and less able to like share, and they're less objective. And so now we can talk about the hormone levels. We can talk about what cycle day it is. We can talk about what phase of the cycle it is. And also I could just like share screenshots of the chart so that he could see what's going on.
It's interesting for me to see that like sorry, this is too much information, but like there's times when you have more than one LH surge, right? So
personally,
right. So this is
that
something
is
specific to Monica,
but
atypical. But I feel like on some Facebook forums you find that they're not the only one.
Yeah.
But so like there's multiple LH surges. So like for us in the practice of family planning, but even just knowing that like, oh, it's your body is trying to do things. You're not just unable to discern the different signs.
Yes.
Like you're having the objective metrics there. I'm like, okay, there's something happening. And it just makes it an easier conversation than like, are you just being overly cautious? Are you being, even if we're trying to conceive, are you being as meticulous in your checking the signs as you should be, so that we can get pregnant. Like, no, you actually have quantitative stuff to share with me that I can look at and be like, okay, I understand where we're at.
Yeah. And it's also helped too in just like you were saying, the things that could interrupt the cycle. Instead of me hypothesizing or me just being the woman and being like, this is what I'm experiencing, and I think that like that overstressed me or that made me overtired, you were then able to like see that actually happening. Obviously not seeing inside my body, but like it gives you like, it reveals something that you can't see, and kind of puts data to it, puts a value to it, puts a picture to it. And I think that was also really helpful too for like, yeah, I'm not like messing this up, or I'm not the one that's making this confusing. It's like, it's my body. It's me, but it's not me. All right. And then reason number 5, it promotes stewardship of health. And this is probably my main reason for promoting this all the time, is like, this is the way the female body was created. And I think that's incredible and magnificent and wonderful, but also somewhat complicated. Like, it's not straightforward. And a man's fertile hormone is testosterone, and it's pretty regulated. Like, unless you have some health stuff, it should be fairly consistent day to day. And
I would cry foul, but that's not the topic that we're discussing tonight, because I feel like there's a lot more to it that isn't out there. Hey, Anita, you want to make a guide version? All about it. Ready to talk about it.
That's fair. But I think like when it comes to
metabolites. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Buzzwords. But what I think is really important is like a woman understanding why her body is doing what it's doing and how cool that is. Because like this, all of a sudden you're like 11, 12, 13 years old, and it's like, oh, Aunt Flo is coming and this is so dreadful. And like, it does seem slightly unfair that females have to like experience this thing that is messy and uncomfortable. But when you start to understand your hormones, you're like, wow, it's this way to help not only create life, but like sustain it. That's why it works this way. And to like be a co-creator, to cooperate with God and like the way that he made your bodies. I just think it's like, it's so cool to actually like be able to see that happening. And then to also, if it's not happening necessarily as a textbook or like as it should, this Anito is a really great tool to help steward your health. Like, I have to do extra things because of PCOS to try to regulate my cycle. So it reminds me to take care of my body in the way that it's asking me to. Like, it's kind of highlighting that like I need to be aware of my sugar intake and I should be exercising, and stress does affect me, you know, more than just my mood or more than just my sleep. Like, it has an effect on me. So it encourages me to steward my body well, to take care of my body. And so I think this is a really great tool for like understanding that like you're not broken, you are made in a really cool way. But also like because of that, you should take care of yourself.
And if people want to know more, want to learn more about this, where should they go?
You can go to anito.com.
Spell it.
INITO. You can order a monitor, and that would come with, it's like a starter kit. So you'd have the monitor.
You have one.
I have one. Here's the monitor if you're watching on YouTube. So here's the monitor that clips onto an iPhone, or if you have an Android, they finally have created the Android version. And so that's like a separate monitor, and it Bluetooths to your Android phone. So there's 2 different ways to use it based on what kind of phone you have. And then you would order test strips. They come in a package like this. When you take it out of the package and dip it in the urine, it looks like this. And you'll see like little purple lines show up on it, which is the different hormone levels. And the monitor translates that into quantitative information through the app. And then it takes about 10 minutes for the monitor to, well, for the stick to dry and make sure that everything is as it should be. And then for the monitor to read that and give you the information on your phone, and the app stores it forever. The customer service is really, really great. So if you're confused, if something didn't work right, the customer service is really quick to respond and to help interpret what's going on. They have a lot of like blogs and explanations on how this works. We've written a lot on Substack about this. I've written a lot. We have other episodes, but this is the first one totally dedicated to this tool because it's really special to us. It's really important to us. And I think We're releasing this before Christmas. I think that this is a great Christmas gift, the gift of fertility awareness and to understand your body. I think it's a great, great gift that you can give yourself. You can give a woman in your life, maybe who's just like really wanting to understand her health and her cycle. Maybe you know somebody that is trying to conceive. This is a really great tool to help understand like when is the prime time for the couple to be acting on that. Maybe you know a couple that is just having a hard time communicating about this. This could be a great way for them to understand one another a little bit better. Husbands can give it to their wives, wives can give it to their husbands. Anyways, so you can order it. It's on sale right now if you're watching this right before Christmas. And you can use our code MON15, MON15, for an extra discount. And
don't gift me one, but
well, we already have one. But I think that would be a cool gift, though, to give to your husband and be like, I'm going to use this, but this is also like, put the app on his phone so that he can see it and like understand it. I think it's a good gift.
And like we
Renzo
said,
says I don't want one.
like we said, the disclaimer, we are not doctors. This is not your substitute for NFP. Definitely run it by your instructors as you are incorporating anything new, any new tools or resources like that. We are blessed to have a doctor a doctor who encouraged you to get it.
Yep.
And you have been able to blend it well with our lifestyle and our choices. It sounds weird.
Yes. So like our use of, to kind of summarize, I've alluded to it, like your use of fertility awareness. People use fertility awareness for a lot of things. Again, my biggest promoter is just like health and stewardship and wellness for you to understand what's happening in your body. But some people are able to use fertility awareness to try to conceive pregnancy, which Anita was built for. That's why it was made. So if you're a couple that maybe is not understanding why conception hasn't happened yet, or you're starting a journey of trying to conceive and you want to really do that in a healthy way, this is a great tool for that. As practicing Catholics, we also know that fertility awareness can be used as a tool to avoid pregnancy as well. And again, this is not us endorsing it as that, but that is how we use it because we understand how fertility awareness works. So when you're ovulating and conception is possible, we are not doing the married things.
None of them.
None of them.
Well,
don't even look at each other at that time. Don't look, don't smile, don't breathe in each other's area. No touching.
No texting. Don't send me cute things. Okay. Well, thank you guys. And thank you for listening. And we hope you enjoyed the episode. And be sure to check out the links in the description. If you are on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Do you like the new camera setup? Because
did you even notice
that there's a new camera setup? Because this took so much time to do, but it's set up and it's wonderful. And Monica started squinting at the beginning because she couldn't adjust to the amount of lights that we had. But
is it real that blue-eyed people have a harder time with bright lights?
Sounds like an excuse. Be better. So, but you can see, I could feel like I could see your blue eyes. It's probably because of this, though, that your blue eyes look great. And
I'm wearing a blue sweatshirt for anyone.
Like, comment, subscribe. I said that already. Leave us a review on Apple and Spotify. Like it on YouTube, please. And we will see you at the next episode.
Bye.